Next up, we have Candice Iloh, who is our YA faculty. Give it up for Candice. Candice Iloh is a first-generation Nigerian-American writer from the Midwest by the way of Washington, D.C. and Brooklyn, New York, whose books center on home, self-awareness, and Black sustainability. They are proud alumna of the Rhode Island Writers Colony, and their work has earned fellowships from Lambda Literary, Vona, Kimbilio Fiction, and a residency with High Arts, where they debuted their first one-person show in 2018. Candice became a 2020 National Book Award finalist, and in 2021, a Prince Award honoree for their debut novel, Everybody Looking. Break This House is their second novel. Welcome to the stage, Candice Iloh.
Good evening. It's really exciting being here. Just real quickly on the way here, I was just thinking about all of the first opportunities I had as a writer to get my work looked at and to get my work seen in written form. A lot of that came through Lambda. So it just feels really special to be here as faculty just because experiences like this really shaped my writing career. I didn't know I wanted to be a writer when I was younger, and residencies, workshops, community like this is why I'm still doing this, so I'm glad to be here. So I'm gonna read a section from Break This House, which was my second novel that came out last year. It is one of my favorite scenes that I just call the church scene. And it is quite self-explanatory. And it's going to end with me switching to a narrator that I will not tell you who it is until you read the book. You have to read the book to know. But the end is a different voice, so I just needed to let you know that before I started. Life Row Third Pentecostal Christ the King Church smells exactly like it did the last time I was here. Stale breath, white diamond perfume, and old carpet. I'm surprised it's still standing given how small it is. Coming up the road where this church is the only stop, it sits on a hill with its own parking lot and looks like an abandoned house. I'm positive the walls shake as the choir sings the opening praise and worship song, being that it makes up over half of the congregation. Only about 10 of us sit in the pews being blasted by their morning screams. I'm amazed that they still let Nana take up a whole seat on the praise and worship team, given that she be needing to use her asthma pump in between every verse. I remember Pastor laying hands on her when me and Fatima were 5 and him declaring that she'd be loosed of the spirit of asthma. The front of Nana's skirt suit jacket soaked with tears as she wobbled back to her seat, thanking the Lord for Pastor Ross breathing new life into her that day. Nana's eyes look like they'll slice my throat if I don't stand up during the last song before the sermon. I stand up, forcing my stank face further down under my skin and scratch at the pantyhose she forced me into just minutes before everybody loaded the van. Tiff was convinced I wouldn't fit none of her clothes, so I ended up back at Nana's to get dressed under her watchful eye. I look fucking ridiculous wearing the red spaghetti strap sundress I packed in case Nana made us dress up. Ridiculous because she made me wear it with a t-shirt and black pantyhose because Nana said I didn't need to be showing all of that to the Lord in his house. I almost got popped in the mouth trying to remind her that she'd always said the Lord was omnipresent. And don't that mean he's seen it all? Don't that mean he knows it's the only dress I packed? I scratch at my thigh again as Pastor Ross takes the pulpit for the closing lines of the song. But the musician at the keyboard lingers as they hum for a while, and a large projected image of Sandra suddenly appears on the white wall behind him. A picture of her laughing, at the last family reunion that she, Pop, Fatima, and I went to as a family. I can't look away from her gap-toothed smile or the press and curl she'd held in place with bobby pins the night before, the deep plum of her lipstick that had made her lips look especially full and sensual, even though we always used to hear Nana question how she'd gotten white girl lips as black as this family is. The way she'd blend in some of it into her cheeks with her fingers to add more color to her skin-tagged face. The choir keeps humming, and my eyes move down the blown-up photo to the way her fingertips lightly grazed her collarbone where the Libra pendant she never took off laid. An opal wolf, thoughtful, selfless, loyal, balanced. Libras hate being alone, she once told me and Fatima during one of the bedtime stories she'd made up. She pulled us into her perfumed chest and said, "That's why I'm glad God blessed me with two of y'all, mama's babies." The whole swaying choir is a pixelated blur beyond the tide, risen in my bottom eyelids, and Pastor Ross's preacher chanting begins. He says something about my mama being gone way too soon, that we'd lost another one of the Lord's fallen soldiers, another beautiful soul. Arms are reaching out to touch me now, to squeeze and shake my shoulders too hard, to tell me it's all right if it hurts, that she's in a much better place now, that she don't have to hurt no more where she is, that I should be strong, hold my head up. I want the hands to go back where they came from, to keep them to themselves since they weren't able to keep Sandra alive, to keep her from going sour like forgotten milk in the back of a fridge. Since Earth couldn't have been a better place, since Earth rotted her body so much it sent her somewhere that I'll never be able to touch her again. The thought of her becoming too weak to keep breathing makes me collapse back into the pew and let the tears take me under, just like my mama, forever below. What they don't never tell you is how it stops doing what it's supposed to. How one day it's going to stop taking away that old feeling, that alive feeling. How it turns you into somebody always trying to get better, be better, get back to how you used to be. Everybody starts blaming you for not doing everything right, for not noticing every sign, every bloody flag, for not being stronger than you was. They gonna make up all types of stories about why this happened to you. Or they might just lie. The truth, too nasty, too much. Just as quick as you come into the world is as quick as they gonna forget what it was like to have you in it. The real you, not the one they thought you was, who they thought and chose to see. They gonna forget which part of the story they was in, whether they was the victim or the villain. Everybody loves them a good story. Everybody wanna be sung a good lullaby before they go off to sleep. What if you ain't slept in decades? What if you need something stronger to get there? A little help knowing what sleep is? What if none of us ever seen a bed? If you're not careful, they gonna blame the way you was born. Blame your blood. Blame too many hours looking into the phone, waiting for somebody to miss you, to want you, to love you enough to stay. Just wait. They're gonna blame you for it all. Blame you for existing instead of opening their eyes. Thank you.
Thank you, Candice. That was a gorgeous reading.